if investors want regular cash flow from their investments, the automatic choice for many are bank fixed deposits and postal deposits. However, declining interest rates on these schemes have made investors worry about their future income needs. Now, this is where Systematic withdrawal plans come in, or SWP. Now, these schemes allow investors to withdraw fixed amounts at regular intervals. Let's learn more about SWP and whether they are the ideal retirement savings tool. We have on board Harsh Roongta, founder, fee-only investment advisor, to elaborate more on this. Harsh, good evening and welcome to the show. So clearly, we have touched upon this topic a lot of time, but then I think every time we cover this, we have a new viewer or audience joining in for more information. Okay, so let's break this down. What exactly is SWP?
So as the name implies, it's a systematic withdrawal plan. So think of this as a pool with your savings and whatever income accrues from it, and you keep withdrawing the required amount from it as and when you want. Typically, systematic withdrawal plan means a predetermined fixed amount, mostly monthly. You can do it weekly, but mostly it is done monthly. And in that, it actually mimics an income or a pension. And therefore, it's most relevant for retirees, though not necessarily only for them. Anybody who needs a steady cash flow, systematic withdrawal plan is a method by which they can sort of do this. And therefore, this is something that should be looked at by everybody who's looking for a steady amount being received. The thing is, it's extremely flexible. You can increase the amount, you can decrease the amount, and till you make some changes, it will keep coming, whatever is the reduced amount or the increased amount. So therefore, if you're treating it like a pension for a retiree, and then they want to increase the amount, subject of course to there being money in the scheme, you can increase the amount because as inflation bites, you may find that it is high. Sometimes you may reduce the amount, or you may skip a withdrawal altogether because you may get money from somewhere else. All that is possible in a systematic withdrawal plan. And today with the electronization, it's extremely convenient to do so as well.
All right, Harsh, I think what's also important is to make our viewers or help them understand the exact process of getting into the mode of SWP, because it's not like you invest money in a particular investment instrument today and right from tomorrow you might just want to have the facility of SWP. Although you can do it, but then it's also advisable to invest in a particular way, let your money grow, and then have a withdrawal plan attached to it, or maybe schedule it in a way, or maybe strategize it in the way that you need it. So how can one do it?
So I think it will depend on your need. We've seen people who will invest and start withdrawing immediately. That is why if you will see equity saving schemes or many balanced advantage schemes, a lot of them allow, say, 10% or 15% of the corpus to be withdrawn in the first year. That is basically for people who want to start off an immediate withdrawal. And it's very, very usual for people to do that from equity savings and balanced funds. Also, it's usual to do it from debt funds. So it's not that it is not possible, but if you're targeting something, and later on in the program, you're going to be talking about that. If you're targeting a certain withdrawal amount, then obviously the strategy for achieving the corpus required for you to get that target amount, that will have to be done in advance. You can't dig a well when you are thirsty. You will have to dig that well in advance.
Can you explain us the difference between a systematic withdrawal plan and a dividend yield plan, which an investor might also prefer for regular income in terms of pensions?
So I think, first of all, the dividend yield plan is now no longer referred to as dividend yield. SEBI has changed that definition to income declaration cum capital withdrawal plan. So because dividend in a mutual fund scheme is a misnomer, and as compared, actually I cannot understand any use case where income declaration, there could be some use cases for probably for non-residents. For residents, I cannot think of a use case where income declaration come withdrawal plan will be better than its counterpart growth plan. And here is the reason. First is the major tax advantage that the growth plan has, and I will explain it with this example that I had written in my article. That let's assume your corpus is 1 lakh rupees, and let's compare that to 1 lakh liters of water that you had stored in an external tank outside your house. Based on that, the municipal authorities are giving you, say, 6,000 liters, that's 6%, roughly. Treat it as a bank fixed deposit or whatever. It's giving you 6%, 6,000 liters. Now, if you choose to take, and you pay tax on the municipal water that you consume inside your house. Now, if you choose to take that 6,000 liters directly, which is the IDCW option, then you pay tax on it because it's completely municipal water. Now, instead of taking it directly, you say put it into the external tank, and from there you now withdraw 6,000. Now the external tank before your withdrawal had 1,06,000. The water is now mixed. Both your original 1 lakh and the municipal authority 6,000 is mixed. 94.5%, which is 1 lakh divided by 1,06,000. That's your original water, and 5.5%, which is basically the municipal water of 6,000 divided by 1,06,000. When you withdraw 6,000 liters for consumption inside the house, 94.5% of that, so roughly 5,660 liters, that is your own water, so you pay no tax on it. Only on the balance amount, the 340 liters, which is 5.5%, only on that you pay tax. So you see the huge advantage you get by paying tax only on the municipal water as a proportion. And as long as that external tank is never fully emptied, you will always have a benefit. It's only after the tank is fully emptied that you will end up paying the tax that you would have otherwise saved. So there is a huge amount of saving that you make. That's one advantage. Then imagine, so the tax advantage is huge, and that by itself takes away any other advantage. That IDCW actually has no advantages. And it basically comes from this whole mindset that I must keep my capital aside and the income should come to me directly. As I just explained, that gives rise to wrong consequences. In the example I gave, 6,000 only comes inside your house, but you pay tax on a much smaller amount. So if only you will allow your mindset where you can mix your income with your capital and then withdraw whatever you want, whether the income less than that, more than that, you will end up benefiting as long as you allow the capital and income to get mixed. So I think that is very important. The second major advantage that a systematic withdrawal plan has is that just like a systematic entry plan, a systematic investment plan, that tends to flatten the fluctuations that happen in equity, etc. Similarly, for long-term withdrawal, please remember retirees are going to withdraw for 25 years, 30 years. So, but suppose they invest in a hybrid balanced fund or a balanced advantage fund or an equity savings fund, the fund value will go up and down depending on the vagaries of the equity market. little bit less in equity, saving little bit probably more in a balanced advantage. But as long as you're withdrawing systematically, it will help you even out the variations in the earning that the fund has. So I think for these two reasons, as far as a mutual fund scheme is concerned, IDCW makes no sense whatsoever. There is just one use case that I can think of, which is non-residents who have a tax advantage on IDCW.
So, Harsh, a lot of time what happens is, for example, a person has an investment in multiple mutual funds, okay, which are equity and debt overall. Now, when you want to avail an SIP, do you really need to accumulate all these investments in one particular fund and then get the SWP activated? What is going, in terms of procedure and in terms of formalities, how can one get this activated from different investment instruments or maybe in different aspects of their portfolio that they have?
So if we stick to mutual funds, obviously in every scheme you will have to go and do it. So if you decide to do it, if you consolidate, there are tax consequences, right? You might have saved for 10 years in 5 schemes, and now you want to set up a systematic withdrawal plan. Either the what amount you want to withdraw, you can break up into 5. And every AMC's website allows you to set it up SWP electronically. There are platforms that allow you to do it, whether it is a mutual fund utility, whether it is BSE Star MF, whether it is NSE mutual fund platforms. There are other MF Central, which is available. So I think there are multiple platforms that are available from which you can set up a systematic withdrawal plan, but you would have to set it up separately for every scheme. You cannot have an omnibus systematic withdrawal plan.
And one more aspect of this particular feature is you can withdraw the money, but at the same time have your investments growing as well, right? How does that happen?
So imagine you put your money in equity mutual fund, right? In an index fund, let's say, or an active mutual fund. So it grows as the market has grown. Let's say it grows, and you keep withdrawing. So it's like again, to use the same example, okay. It is a tank where the bottom there is some seepage coming in from the earth, and therefore it on its own it is sort of the water quantity is rising, and at the same time you are withdrawing, and municipal authorities are also putting in water. So there are multiple things that are happening. There can be dividends, etc., that equity fund will have. There can be shares that might have been sold at a profit or their value might have risen. And from there, of course, you can keep withdrawing a smaller or a higher amount. So on both sides, the income side and the withdrawal side, the accrual side and the withdrawal side are delinked. I think that is the beauty of systematic withdrawal plan.
All right, Harsh, I think time to wind up. Thank you so much for being on the show and helping our viewers understand all the aspect of systematic withdrawal plan.